So I've spent the last couple of days playing Battlebit Remastered, which is a low-poly FPS that aims for massive multiplayer experiences. This game was highly requested through comment sections as well as my DMs on Instagram. A lot of people have been wanting me to play it, and I finally did, and this is the video discussing my thoughts on the closed beta test that is happening right now. Like the video down below and subscribe for more FPS content. And for those that are looking to play, I believe this test is going until the 22nd of January. You guys can go to their Steam page, which I will have linked down below. You can request access to the test and you get in instantly and you can play this for free. So Battlebit Remastered is an interesting premise. It's a low poly Battlefield style shooter with 200 player servers. I was playing games with 127 versus 127 in this low poly style map that offers full destruction. So you want to talk about bad company level destruction, but even more so. Most classes in the game get a sledgehammer, which allows you to blow holes in almost every single wall. You can take down every single building you see, and it is chaotic destruction on steroids. There are hundreds of players just running around shooting from all angles. And before we get into the negatives, I want to talk about the things that I like about Battlebit. First off, the player controller and the FPS mechanics here for a low poly Roblox style experience are fucking impressive. You have the ability to lean, you can lay down and lean, you can sprint, there is canted sight aiming, there is complete fluid animations for players, and it is actually pretty fun to play. The recoil on the weapons actually do feel pretty good. I've been playing with the M4 and it feels like a fucking solid shooter. It offers complete character customization from the helmet to the face to the paint to the chest. Like, it is kind of insane just how much content is actually here. You have full weapon customization, including canted sights, side rails, underbarrels, sights, stocks, just everything to customize your weapons and your loadouts to what you want. It offers vehicle gameplay with, boats and Humvees and ATVs and airplanes. It is the quintessential Battlefield low poly experience, and it's been in development for quite a long time. Now, the game offers upwards of over 200 players per map, and what I will say here, 200 players might sound like a technological feat, and it is, but when it comes to game design, it is way too fucking chaotic for my liking. Some people might enjoy it. I've heard people say they've been playing the entire time and have been having a blast. For me personally, you lose game flow and you lose a lot of strategy when it comes to flanking when you combine 200 players in a fully destructible environment. When you talk about, some of the biggest complaints that people had when Modern Warfare came out was the fact that you could look in every single window of a building and there'd be somebody there. You'd always have to just keep your head on a swivel. This game takes that complaint and it magnifies it and amplifies it because people are fucking everywhere. And when it comes to game flow, it's just not fun to play for me. I definitely see the potential, and when this game comes out, I could see me hosting a server with, 64, or maybe see what it's like with 128, 64, and 64, and just chop that player number in half. Right now, bigger isn't always better. But on top of that, you have a fully destructible environment, albeit low poly. You have 200 plus players running around on a map. Ballistics and hit reg are on point for an FPS. And it's running at a phenomenally smooth frame rate. The technological feats here are very, very impressive, and it offers an experience that not a lot of games can actually hit. And I see people comparing this to Battlefield 2042. Obviously, the low poly, models and environments are what allows this game to do what it does. But at the same time, I would play this over 2042 10 out of 10 times, because it has voice chat, it has scoreboard, it has those legacy feature classes that we've been asking for, and it does it all in a pretty impressive package. It has progression with leveling and ranks, and allows you to unlock things for your weapons and gives you a reason to continue playing. It also allows you after each game to vote for the next map or the next mode, as well as night and day options for each of these maps, and you can throw flashlights and lasers onto your weapons to allow you to play at night. Now, from what I'm seeing, the community isn't a fan of the night maps, because I actually haven't been able to play on one because everybody always votes for daytime, which is okay. It just is what it is. I think the game is one of the most impressive indie FPSs that I have seen in a long time. And the thing is I know some people are going to write it off because it does look like Roblox. Some people will say it takes them out of the immersion, and that's fair enough. Right now, the game is in a closed beta state that you can play for absolutely no cost. When it comes out, I don't know what the price is going to be, but I do know that it is going to go into early access. So they already have the store page up, and on their store page, they say that they're planning to stay in early access for a minimum of 2 to 3 years. And I think that's fair, even though the game itself and the core design of it is one of the best indie FPSs that I've seen in a long time. A lot of it comes down to content. Some of the biggest complaints in terms of the chaos is the fact that all the characters look identical, and a lot of the character colors, if you're playing on a map that is, more desert or more tan, the character models are tan as well. It's fucking weird. Some of those design decisions need to be tweaked. There needs to be the ability to have 2 different faction colors, because sometimes with this much chaos going on, you don't know if you're aiming at a friend or a foe. Sometimes if someone comes around the corner, they look just like your team that you've been looking at, they kill you, and you're just like, well, fuck. It gets really frustrating. So they need to have 2 different faction colors, greens versus browns, or fucking red versus blue, or whatever. There's a reason for it. But when you look at what they say is the current state of the early access version when it does release, they say the game is polished very well, balance issues are small, and we're fixing those balance issues weekly and daily. And I got to attest to it. They have dropped, I think, 3 updates since I played yesterday. It's kind of nuts. And they say that because of the low poly, they're able to optimize the game on very slow CPUs and GPUs, and this is why I think this game is going to be a massive success. If it launches and the price is right, this could be a game with a very high adoption rate, which is really cool because you love to see it in the indie scene. And I can attest, when I was speaking to Okie Dokie years ago when I was first introduced to this project, he took everything that I said and what other people were saying to him to heart, and they built it, and they did it. Like, I'm super proud to see this game come the way it is. For me personally, it's way too fucking chaotic. There's no flow to any of the maps because there's just so many people there. It kind of has the same vibe that Battlefield 2042 did to me. Bigger's not always better, but the core game is solid. It needs some audio tweaking because sometimes some of the explosions you couldn't hear, and there's just always constant gunfire, and it's a little World War III-esque, although not as bad as that game. And obviously, player colors and faction colors and stuff like that. Simple tweaks that I know are going to come, especially if this game's going to be in early access for 2 to 3 years minimum. If you guys can get past the low poly models and environments, you have a free-to-play closed beta for a game that is rivaling and bringing back the likes of Battlefield that we knew before. And just seeing how the game runs and performs, this is the perfect time for this game to come out. Again, I know a lot of people are going to shit on it, but I think if you own a PC and you're into games like Battlefield and maybe you were disappointed by 2042, I think you owe it to yourself to just go to the Steam page, hit and join and request access, and try around and see what you think of it. I'm going to have that link down below for those who do want to try it. I do appreciate you guys watching, and if you enjoyed the video or got any good information out of it, leave a like on it and subscribe for everything multiplayer FPS, all the way from the AAA behemoths to the indie scene as well. We're covering it all on this channel. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.